Weather warnings have been issued for every part of the UK as people are told not to travel and to stay indoors. The entire country is bracing itself for a great winter storm, one which could wreak havoc. And then there's me, a reckless 14-year-old traveller who wants nothing but to have the greatest adventures. And after I saw online about some of the scenes that the UK winter had created, I would not allow myself to miss out any of the action. So I decided to try to get to Glasgow in Scotland through 7 weather warnings so I could experience the true meaning of winter in Britain. But what made even more at stake here is that I was travelling up on a Sunday, meaning the next day I had school. And if I didn't get back, I would probably have to miss the entire day. So I knew for once that I could not fail this. Especially since I had a huge geography test on the Monday after I was going up, which is 50% of my grade this year, so it was essential that I got back home. And so after leaving the house, I began the journey. So I'm on the road, but we already have one disaster because there's been a crash on the route up to Glasgow, and there's a police car behind me. This is going to be a disaster. We have just passed a sign on the motorway that said strong winds forecast today. Like the wind is absolutely roaring now. I can't even imagine what it's going to be like once we get a bit more further north. I think for a lap I'm just going to fire up the CalMac status app, which basically CalMac, you may have seen from my other videos, all the ferries in Scotland, but with like weather like this all across the UK, they're going to be in quite a disaster, so I'm just going to see what the ferries are like. Firstly, what I find so funny is that on the advertisement app it shows that they're all green, but they are never ever all green. So let's have a little look, shall we? Starting here, these are alright, but Aaron being there, well, you haven't seen that video yet, but yeah, Butte, all red. Basically all the islands I've been to, like, there's just no ferries going on. The Outer Hebrides, that's alright though. Yeah, but all the wow, CalMac are just in an absolute car crash, or boat crash should we say. And as I continued towards Glasgow, I remembered something. Oh yeah, and something I actually need to point out is that in the Scottish Cup in football today, Celtic, sorry, I'm just reading the script today, I've all written down. Celtic and a team called Bucky Thistle are playing each other, but Bucky Thistle are 4 leagues underneath Celtic, so for one they're probably going to get battered, but if the game was being held at Bucky Thistle Stadium, it would be a completely different story and absolute chaos. You see, Bucky is a small town up in the Scottish Highlands in which today there are multiple weather warnings in place. The coast up there has been hit by really severe weather recently. For example, slightly along the coast from Bucky is a small fishing village called Gardenstown where I recorded, I'll put it up somewhere around here, but where I recorded that video at the end of 2022. And the road to get to Gardenstown, so this is what it usually looks like, but then today, because of all the weather, this is what it looks like now. It's an absolute winter wipeout. And since Bucky and Gardenstown are quite close together, Bucky was probably hit by the same extreme weather. So there's a high chance that Bucky Thistle Stadium will have been snowlocked, well, absolutely snowed in today. As well as this, all the Bucky Thistle fans probably won't even be able to get down to Glasgow today because their nearest city is Inverness. And no, they can't really take the roads because they're dangerous, but all the trains from Inverness down to Glasgow are cancelled. And it wasn't just Inverness. Every single train line in Scotland had been suspended whilst checks were carried out over the safety of the lines. And it was kind of good that they did that because up in Glencoe, where the West Highland Railway runs through, 168 miles per hour winds were recorded. I hoped that kind of stuff didn't happen to me, but unfortunately, it wasn't my choice. What is that? That was just a car facing the wrong way. Something has gone on there. The storm had arrived. What is this? I was about to put the Gopro on my selfie stick. Yeah, just found the crash online. It looks very serious, and I'm glad I wasn't coming home then. I would definitely have been stuck in a lot of traffic. Okay, it's just been another crash. There was like a ton of debris like just on the road in front of us, and a huge lorry has just gone into there. I wonder what that police car is for. That can't be good. I've now just been alerted to some, you can see on there, all that red crash. So it seems to be on like the other side of the motorway, but it might disrupt both sides. In fact, it could be a problem. What's happened there? Oh wow. What? There's a ton of traffic cones all knocked down there. What was that for? But there's still a bunch of orange traffic here and all these traffic cones. But yeah, hopefully we'll be okay. All that ground is flooded. I know the roads are crazy at the moment, but on the radio there's a football game, Sheffield United against West Ham, and that's been as crazy as the roads. There's been 2 sendings of and like 3 penalties, and VAR are getting involved, which they could take all night, but who knows. What is this weather? Here we go. The scores is 2-2 and at 90 add 12. Wow, what drama is that? In the 102nd minute as well. It's literally just got to a point where we really have to control our speed on these roads, otherwise we are just going to slip off. It's still flooded, but yeah, the light has really begun to fall now, which will probably just mean that it's way harder to get through to Glasgow. What is it? Is that a flood? Wow, that has flooded a lot. And as darkness began to fall, so did my chances of getting to Glasgow and back. But I was too far into the journey now, I could not give up. And I was far from it. And there we are in Scotland now. The fight was on. Starting to get dark outside, and we haven't even got to the mountains yet. So we are now in the mountains, and it is super dark. I've had to have a car light up here and my phone light just so I can see, otherwise you can't really see a thing. But yeah, things were getting desperate. This is where it starts to get dangerous because there's a ton of cars around us and there's mountains on all sides, and yeah. So we're gonna have to be careful. I just think, I'll update you in a minute, but the car in front of us, I think the boot door is open. Amber warning, high winds.
The Environment Agency have to say that the best advice is to stay indoors.
I was at an all-time low, but then I saw something that gave me hope. Light. At long last I'm arriving into Glasgow, but it is quite late and very, very dark. I think before I head back tonight, I'm actually really hungry, so I'm probably gonna have to sort out a restaurant. And I don't really want to drive back through the night. Like, it's 5 now. If I spend like an hour in Glasgow and got tea somewhere, that would be 6. It's 4.5 hours back. 6, 7, 8, half 10, yeah, but then a decision had to be made. And it's super dark, so I don't even know if I'll be able to get back. I just simply didn't know what to do. I eventually, after considering every single option, I decided. Right, made a decision, I'm going to have to stay the night. There's a premiere in back there, so it should be fine there. But yeah, gonna have to miss school tomorrow. I can't break my own promise like I said at the start of the video, so yeah. Well, I'm probably gonna eat at the Beefeater on my premiere in, or at the Capoeg, which is a pub I went to in a previous video. But first, I'm just gonna check into my room. Okay, in the room now, and why is this? This is the biggest room that I've ever been in. Wow, I can't believe this. Like, I've stayed in a lot of premiere-ins in all the videos on this channel. But yeah, so I think I will probably head down to tea now in the Beefeater and the Capoeg. I'm going to meet some of my family who actually live here in Glasgow, because I have a lot, and if I'm staying the night, I might as well enjoy it. So, just been to the restaurant, got fish and chips, but I think I am just going to, well, obviously stay in the room tonight, but maybe watch a bit of TV. There's a ton of programs on with, like, The Traitors and The Apprentice, but yeah, and enjoy the night in Scotland. So, it is now about 11 PM and I'm really tired, so I'm probably gonna get off to bed, so I'm trapped in Scotland for the night. Who knows what tomorrow will bring. I hope I can actually get back tomorrow. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah. So it is the next morning now, and I know I'm wearing the same clothes as yesterday, but I didn't even expect to be staying the night in Glasgow tonight, so I'm just gonna have breakfast and then, yeah, attempt to get home again. As you may know, the breakfasts at premiere-ins are absolutely next level, so I had absolutely everything that there was to offer. This meant that I wouldn't need to eat for the rest of the day, which gave me a better chance at getting home. And then I headed back up to the room. So I've just come back from breakfast now, but I've had a bit of an issue in that now it's about 7:55, so it's the time that I usually meet my friends to walk to school, but half an hour earlier, whilst I was down at breakfast, one of them messaged if I was walking today, but of course I have to miss school because I'm stuck in Scotland, and then yeah, he found that funny. But look, this is the proof. Monday 22nd of January, I have actually had to stay in Glasgow tonight. But yeah, I'm trapped, so I think I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of the day and try and get home later. But yeah, time to go and enjoy Glasgow for the rest of the day. And so after leaving the hotel, I went around Glasgow visiting various family members before going back to the car. So it has been a long time now. I've been spending the day in Glasgow, meeting family, although look, the roads are still quite wet, so I need to attempt to get home now in this weather, although I think it's probably going to be worse than it was coming up last night, so yeah, but we will see. And now onto the motorway. So I've just identified a huge issue. All this road closure through Carlisle and all the red is on the south of motorway, and we are heading straight towards it. And another stretch of road closures at T-Bay. All was lost. However, if there's one thing to know about me, is that I never, ever give up. I knew that there was such a slim chance of me getting home now, but I couldn't back away from danger like this. If I was to go down, I would do it in style, and so I pushed on. and because of some miracle or maybe false information with the Carlisle closure, it was only the north side of the motorway, so we were completely fine. But there was still T-Bay, and that could cause a disaster. But just when I thought everything was going perfectly, incident slowed down. I wonder what that could be. That doesn't look good. The moment I passed that sign, everything went downhill, and I spotted a big queue of cars that lasted for ages. Are all the cars that have got to be diverted. I'm just gonna do a time lapse. I'm just gonna do a time lapse of how long this queue lasts. Police car down here. Hang on, I'm just gonna see what this one's. But yeah, it's probably managing all the hundreds of cars back up. And soon after that, the worst possible thing came true. I was about to say I hope the queues weren't going to be long at T-Bay, but shows no sign of moving now, and I've just seen 2 fire cars go past in that lane, so something has gone on. I'm just going to check Google Maps to see if there's any like disasters or crashes or something, and I still had to find my way through. Yep, I was right, there has been a crash on the M6. I mean, it actually must be quite a serious crash, because just looking at my map here, this is where I am, but look, all of this road is closed, so yeah, something has definitely gone on here. We've been waiting for about, I'd say 20-30 minutes and no sign of moving whatsoever. And finally, after about an hour, we've just had a bit of movement. We've been stuck here for a long time. I'm not really sure what's happening. I think that lane, oh, something's up with that lorry. Yeah, I think we might be moving. That was a long time. I was stuck in that queue for over an hour, and the roads they are still really slow. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, but yeah, we will see. I've said that 3 times in like the past few minutes. I hope I don't get stuck in a queue. Everything's just being really slow. And yeah, so the service station is just half a mile down the road. I think I'm just going to stay there for a bit whilst all the chaos out here dies down. I bought a few things from the service station, but I couldn't really film much because it was slightly awkward bringing a £300 camera in public, and it was really dark. But then I went back to the car. Oh my gosh. Just been in the service station, got some crisps that tied me over for now, but I'm probably going to have to stop again before I can get back home. But yeah, out of the service station now. It was really dark in there, but that was because they just had a power cut from the storm. The roads look quite clear, and in terms of danger, well, there's an ambulance literally right in front of me here. Now, all I needed was finally, at long last, to get home. So, the roads actually look smooth for once. I've moved it like that all the way home. I'm actually almost home now at long last. At last I am home. I had finally done it. Against all the odds, I'd braved the dangers of winter and single-handedly fought my way through a storm that caused destruction, devastation, and even death. But the reason that I never gave up, the one thing that kept me going through all of this, is that there's a saying that I know of. Everything will be okay in the end, and if it's not okay, it's not the end.